Hello everybody, it's me Darcy. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Unnamed Podcast. Podcast where I sit here with this guy for about a time doing some things.
Yeah.
But mainly talking about whatever comes to my mind. A weird and terrifying place where no mortal should spend too much time. As often we do, as always we do.
I suppose on the upside, you keep saying you're an immortal, so you're spending all that time there.
Nailed it. As we often do, let's get started with a little bit of channel news. Kris, take her away.
Okay, so on Monday, Gears of War.
Big cough.
That was the start of the finale of the Gears of War game. That is part 1 of 2.
Yes. Fun fact about that,
it took us fucking ages.
It was never supposed to be 2 parts.
After
doing the first episode, I realized that we could probably knock a whole chapter done in acts. They're called acts. Chapters, acts, whatever you want to call them. I figured out we could knock that out in about an hour to 25. Depending on how well we played. And depending on how well I remembered exactly what we had to do.
True, yeah.
Well,
The
episode before that was long.
Yes, it was.
Mostly that was because of, I reckon, a bunch of deaths that happened early in this piece.
Yeah, I don't know what you were doing there.
Yeah, it's definitely me. And also the fact that I literally watched it today and I can't remember why it was so. I think it was just the deaths at the start.
Oh, it was.
I'm fairly sure if those
It was 100% the deaths.
And the fact that, in that one we were split up and there was a point where we kept making it through to this point, but every death would take us back to the start of that point. So I think we did that 4 times.
That's true, but then there was the next part as well when we stayed together.
Oh yeah.
But it was just after we met up.
Yeah. And then there was also the whole thing where I had no idea what to do about the Berserker.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And that took us a little bit of time. That was probably about 5-10 minutes of waste of time. So in all honesty, that one should have been an hour, but
it's true.
It wasn't. Let's go steal some cars. And then this one. Wow. This one took us 2 hours. And even once I cut out all of the stoppages, it was still about an hour 45. And I was just like, nope.
Yeah.
Also, it being such a big chapter, because it's kind of it's a 2-parter, really. Where you kind of do this first part where you're running away from a Brumac, going into a power station. It also did not help that I think we've, even though it looks a lot worse, we probably should have played the original game, not the remastered re-release, just because I think the remastered re-release has a few bugs and issues.
Fair.
Literally, again, as I said, I was watching back one of the episodes today, and there's literally one point where I have my gun point at a guy who's fighting with Kris. I shoot, it's the middle of his back. I shoot at. The bullet misses. Shoot again, the bullet misses, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm pretty sure there was a point where I was down and I started actually paying attention to what you were doing, and I was just watching that happen. I'm like, I see. That's annoying.
That was the start of the one that came out on Monday.
That was the start?
So
okay.
You go, that's not what you're talking about, and then I'm like, no, this is what I'm talking about, and I show you, and I aim one, and it's you see his head in the middle of my screen, and I pull the trigger, and it's misses.
Yeah. That's annoying as shit.
But yes, that's that. So anyway, this one was really long. A bit of it was death. There was a bit of deaths,
but it wasn't as bad as the previous ones.
No.
We were actually doing pretty well that time.
Yeah,
until the end.
There's a few bits in this where we literally don't know what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And again, this is where I think the remake hurt us by doing that one. Very pretty. The prettiest Gears of War has probably ever looked until the new one comes out next year or later this year.
Yeah.
But a lot of bad things that probably never would have happened in the original. So there's a whole point in this one where we're walking around trying to figure out how to get under a bridge. And it's because there's just one locust left, and he's not charging at us and attacking, he's just kind of sitting in the back corner waiting.
Oh, that part.
There's also another part where we're in an alleyway, and we can't figure out what's supposed to happen next, because we can't jump over anything or whatever. And it turns out there's just a wretch literally standing in the middle of the alleyway. I don't notice till I turn around and walk past him that he's actually alive, because he's just chilling there.
Oh, that's right. And I'd run past him like 3 times and hadn't seen him.
And I was like,
I hadn't noticed.
That's buggy behavior. So hopefully we won't have any of those issues when we pick up the other Gears of War games.
Yes.
There is a lot of them, and I actually have no idea. Maybe we do Gears of War 1, 2, 3 Judgment, and then consider whether or not we do Gears of War 4 and 5, because they're not as strong.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And, you know...
I suppose it depends on how the new game is.
Because
the new game will be out by the time we get through all this.
Honestly, if we get to Judgment and the new game is out, and it has couch co-op, or even if it doesn't, and we both have the new Xboxes, because I think that's going to be a big thing for it.
Yeah, you'll want the new ones.
Yeah,
I don't think I'll have the new one, but yeah.
Well, it kind of depends because we still have to get through a bit of. Remember, we're doing this alternating. We now have to play the Halo games.
Oh yeah. Good point.
Yeah. Gears of War 2, and then Halo 2, and both of these are 3 games.
True.
Games that have 3 in them.
True.
And then more.
Well, yeah. Okay, fair point.
Technically, we're up to Halo 6, which is in fact Halo 8.
Okay.
And Gears of War 5, which is in fact Gears of War 7.5.
0.5?
Oh, sorry, 6.5.
0.5?
Yeah, in Gears of War 3 there is I can't remember if it's a chapter or a short campaign, but it pretty much takes place before Gears of War 1.
Ah. Okay.
And then there's the whole Gears of War Judgment. And there might even be more.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Double thumbs up. So basically, before I will definitely play E-Day the second I can. But as in terms of playing it for the channel in this manner, that might be a little bit off. Also, the other thing that I'm really, really concerned for with this game, specifically with this game, is that Gears of War has always been couch co-op.
Yes.
It is the ultimate couch co-op bro shooter type thing.
Yeah.
Trust me, by the time we get to Gears of War 3, you're going to be in love with Marcus and Dom. And their Marcus and Dom ways.
Okay.
You'll even like Cole and Bird. Well, actually, everyone loves Cole. Cole's just so lovable. But you'll even appreciate Bird. Damon Bird. Baird. Baird? No. And so when we get to Gears of War Judgment, you'll be happy that we're actually playing as those characters.
Okay, fair.
And when we get to Gears of War 4, if we get to there, there'll be cameos that you're like, yes, finally a good character. No, the characters are they're okay. They're not... The problem is, like, I think this is one of the biggest issues with Gears of War 4 and 5, is that the characters are more modern characters because they're modern games, or it's like...
Yeah.
Whereas in the original, and all the way through the original series, the characters were just like bros. It's like, that was the whole thing, because it was the era of, we want shooters where you and your bros play as bros.
Oh, of course.
And so you had like these bro characters who are very much caricatures. Like, Marcus is the sergeant. He is gruff. He is no nonsense.
Yeah.
Baird is a smartass. He is a smartass every situation he can be, even when there's no reason to be. Cole is an overly enthusiastic motherfucker. He is always overly enthusiastic. How many times do you hear him do something that's like, woo!
True, fair point.
And Dom is more or less the relatable one, because he has a whole range of emotion.
Yeah, true.
Ranging from everything from upset to aggravated to so done with this shit. But yeah,
I do relate to that.
So that's kind of like the whole thing. Whereas the new characters are like, oh yeah, this is Marcus's son. He's got issues with his dad because his dad's kind of a superhero in the eyes of the people, and his mum is like the first president after the war, and so he's got these massive issues where he's trying to live up to their legacy, but it's a weight and a burden and all this kind of stuff, and you're like, And they're like, but he has a friend, and they're kind of bros. They're not like bros like Marcus and Dom bros, but they're kind of bros.
Yeah.
They're sort of bros.
Okay.
But unlike Marcus and Dom bros, where it's like...
I think what we've got to do in this one is, in that one, I can't step in.
What?
I don't think I can step into that game. Because you got to get someone else in here that's a sort of bro.
A sort of bro.
so that it makes sense.
Well, I think the real issue... Again, as I said, the real issue is like that, like... Well, I was going to say not to give away any spoilers, but it's not really a spoiler because it's Gears of War 2, which is an ancient game.
Well, yes.
The only person I'd be spoiling it for is probably you or any of the audience who
hasn't played the game.
Never heard of Gears of War because they were born after the era of
I've
Brown.
heard of... Oh, no. I definitely went through the era of Brown. Just
but let's just say,
different games.
Gears of War 2, there's a point where it's kind of like something bad happens and Marcus walks up to Dom's like, what do you want to do? We can stealth or we can shoot. And he's like, let's fucking shoot. Because he's pissed. And so, now the reason that actually happened is because they intended to have a choice option.
Yeah, okay.
But then it was like, crunch. To put out the game in time, they just cut the stealth option.
Oh.
And they went, thematically this makes sense. And
yeah,
so,
true, yeah.
You shoot. And, very fortunate that Marcus and Dom have the physiques of locusts. Let's just say that, because otherwise the stealth plan would not work.
No, that is true, yeah.
If they skipped leg day, or arm day, or chest day, or neck day,
or back day,
or any of the days,
forearm day.
It actually surprises me how many days they must have in a week.
Oh, at least 12. It's a day for each muscle group.
Yeah, but pretty much the long story short, and then I can't really remember because unlike all of the other Gears of War which I've played multiple times, including Judgment.
Judgment?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the Judgment was always looked down on as a Gears of War game because I was like, ugh, you're not even playing as the bros.
Okay. Hence
Judgment.
Okay.
But then it's kind of, as the new ones came out and people were like, actually, the good old days of Gears of War, fighting the locusts.
Yeah.
It's come back, and so it used to be like Judgment, but now it's like Judgment.
Okay, fair.
But anyway, the point is that, and I can't remember because I've only played through the story once, but I'm pretty sure there's a point where it's like the two main characters in the new story like get into a bit of a tussle over something that's super unimportant, and you kind of like,
okay,
bros.
Fair enough.
But
yeah.
But yeah, no, as I said, Gears of War E-Day, I'm super excited for. So
okay, sweet. We'll get into that.
I'm even more excited for that than I was for Space Marine 2, because Space Marine 2 I knew I was going to love because I love Space Marine and I like that whole world. But
I've seen some good clips on that. It does look good.
Like seriously, we talked about this when we get that 1,000 subscribers and we K your chest and I get the tattoo.
Not K-ing my chest.
K-ing the chest.
No.
It's happening.
No.
You can't say no to me. Look at me.
No.
I'm a 2010s cool guy.
I'm still saying no.
I've noticed something recently, Kris.
What's that?
I keep getting younger and younger. I think I'm Benjamin Buttoning. I checked yesterday and said I was...
Oh, shit. Okay. Damn.
That was a random computer.
Oh, no.
Internet. How old am I? 25. Holy shit.
Oh, no. Wait, hang on.
Are you going to Google how old am I?
No.
Oh. Are you going to Google, is it Christmas?
Yeah.
Oh, Google it. Come on.
What am I doing?
Come on. So for those of you who don't know, a couple years back now,
yeah,
me and my friends in high school were like literally just the random people. You know, the ones that kids that nowadays
No.
show it to camera.
No, it's
not Christmas. You know how kids today are like, oh, we're so quirky and weird, and we just do weird things because we can. We were like that, except not trying to be. We just enjoyed stupid things.
Yeah,
like changing every single entry in the Beatles Wikipedia page.
Okay, fair enough.
And, you know, I actually once put my entire assignment on a USB disk and gave it to a kid out the window. It was the only copy. I deleted all the rest. I was like, cool, if that comes back to me, I hand in my assignment. If not, well, guess what? I handed back my assignment because it made its way to the kid brother of one of the girls in my class who was like, Darcy, is this yours? I was like, yes, it is.
I guess I'm handing it in.
I'm like, I guess I'm handing in my assignment. 2 weeks too late. It was handed in. So we used to do that shit. And one day we stumbled across a website that literally is called isitchristmas.com.
Yep.
And you just go to that website and it only does two things. It says no, like Kris just demonstrated.
Yes.
Or if you go to it on Christmas, it says yes. And we would check that every day.
Yeah. I just, as soon as you said you looked up a website, I'm like, is it Christmas?
Yeah.
I needed to look it up.
So then we'd go into, so you'd like be in a computer class and you just be like, no, and he's like, what's wrong? And you're like, just went to this website and it's not Christmas. They're like, of course it's not Christmas, you idiot. It's like, yeah, but the website said no.
I feel like on Christmas Day you're going to have to record yourself looking it up.
I actually did do that. I didn't record it, but if you recall, last Christmas I did actually send you a message saying it's Christmas.
Yeah, oh yeah, yes, yeah, I know. I do remember that. Which is why I'm saying you should probably record it this time.
Yeah. So moving right along from Gears of War, Kris, what came out on Wednesday?
Okay, so today, just because I'm going to keep doing it, it was Subnautica.
Yes, it was.
I don't know what happened in it. Still haven't watched it.
Very special episode. The only episode that will ever be like this in the whole of Subnautica. I walk on dry land. I use my human legs to do human leg things. There actually might be another patch of land somewhere in the game. I think there is.
Okay.
I've never been there. But I went to the floating islands. I did some scanning. I built more of my base. I finally put down some beacons to remember where things I need to go. Instead of my usual method, which is just kind of going in a general direction and hoping that for the best. It doesn't work.
It never has. It never has.
Fun fact, if you have actually seen any of the Subnauticas, you'll realize that that is my general way of doing things, because one day I was supposed to go somewhere and I'm like, I've gone in the complete opposite direction and now I'm somewhere I'm not ready to be yet. And the whole time I'm like, yep, I'm going the right way. This is the way to where I need to be to get the thing that I need to... Oh, wait, no, I've gone the complete opposite direction and now I'm in trouble.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
sometimes not.
No, but I'm just puttering along there, trying to do the best I can with very, very limited resources, constantly being yelled at by a computer because in a game all about being underwater, apparently I never have enough water in my system. It's dehydration. Now, here's my thing, though, about Subnautica, right? Because it is a distant planet. How do we know it's not fresh water? I don't recall anywhere
it actually saying it was salt water.
Saying it was salt water. So maybe I do just need to take out my oxygen and put it back in.
Maybe
that's what I should be doing.
Well, how fresh would it be with all the sea life in there?
Oh, it would be teeming with bacteria. But
100%.
That's not important.
No.
That's hardly a thing. You
should go back to the 2010s. Look, that's not a... You're at the weird point with your hair. You're at that fucking weird point. I swear to God.
It's at the point where, well, it's also not helpful that it's freshly washed. Because
you know what that,
I didn't put any product in it after I washed it. Usually I put some nice like argan oil to make it nice. And now it's just kind of, I've sat all day with it just air drying, so it's kind of a big fluffy fluff ball.
Which is the exact same thing that happens to mine, which is why I put like a moisturizer in.
Incorrect. Because tomorrow, I guarantee you, it will be back to its normal straight ways.
Yeah. But it was weird when I walked in too.
My hair is not curly.
Because I don't think in the last few weeks I've seen you without a cap on. So
no, but at the same time, this is literally just a today thing. Because I was out of shampoo and conditioner, so I used someone else's shampoo and conditioner.
Oh.
And honestly, I don't think their and my hair are compatible.
Nope. Oh, hell no.
And I was like, ah, okay. Oh, my hair has become fluff.
Took me a while to find one that works for mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're one of those people that like, but just get the one that's like body wash, shampoo, conditioner, engine degreaser.
Shut up.
Dish soap.
Yes.
Man soap, as we call it. No, I can't do that. Years and years ago, back when I was a small child in school, one of the hairdressers that I used to go to was like, hey, do you want a day off school to come and be a hair model for me? And I was like, yes, yeah, I do actually. My hair is very nice. It's very blonde, very thin, voluptuous, and very straight.
Yeah, mine's not as
to
good.
The point where I've literally also had girls, friends of who have been in our friend group, like complain about my hair because it's a lot nicer than theirs. And they're like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "Oh, generally I just rub a bar of soap in."
I just annoy the shit out of them. Yeah. No, because I've had it too. So I get hairdressers saying the same sort of thing as well. Not asking to be a hair model, but just I wish my hair was this thick.
The other thing was I wasn't really keen on having it dyed at the time.
Oh, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Because they were like, oh, you may have to like put some colours through it. And I was like, oh. Because also the colours were like pink and I was like in grade 9.
So it was a definite no to that one.
Like, so I rock up at school with pink in my hair and they're like, just for a couple of weeks. I'm like, that won't result in bullying or anything.
No, not at all. Not even fun.
Honestly, that would have not been the weirdest thing that me. As I said, me and my friends were literally just weirdos.
Not surprised. I'm really not.
One of my best mates had an afro, and one day he came to school with cornrows. And that was there. I was like, huh? He usually took up this much space, and then this one day he just was like stream and fast, and we were like,
something's happening here.
It's not even a sports statement.
Like, you did this on the wrong day.
What, man? What are you talking about?
I don't think I ever saw that.
You would have been you would have either just started or...
So it was in grade 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, point is that...
So I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Mr. Fro himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, yeah, my hair's at this point where it's like, it's actually not really an issue because like if I wear a hat, if I'd actually worn a hat today, you wouldn't be able to tell. But I didn't wear a hat because I was not doing anything. So yeah, it's kind of like this. If I wear a hat for like all day and then I take it off, it'll kind of stay like this, and I'll have a kind of distinct French early 2000s look.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway, back to Subnautica. Yeah. So I went on to dry land. I've got to build some more machinery so that I can continue my exploration. But you know, I kind of like Subnautica because it's a little bit more chill. I don't really have. I know there is a goal in the game, but I'm not really fast tracking that goal. I'm not speed running. I'm kind of more like building up a giant base.
Yeah.
And getting mad at large fish.
You know, I haven't watched any of it yet, but that sounds right.
Yeah.
It really does.
That's me in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So yeah, Subnautica came out. Mainly, there is actually a funny story about that. Subnautica coming out. It was going to be Satisfactory because me and Kris have filmed a Satisfactory where we have both of our footage.
Yes.
And I was editing that this weekend, and then it got to Monday, and I still hadn't finished the edit, and I just went, no, I don't want to do this anymore. So I went and found something else to put out. So I was like, no, I can't be bothered doing working on a hard edit. I'll have to go and do something easy. So I
okay, yeah.
So I pushed off the Satisfactory and went, no.
Later.
Yeah. Yep.
Also not surprised on that.
No. Yeah. So other than that, you know, in terms of stuff that we've been filming, we've filmed 2 episodes for our Halloween week.
We have.
I need to think of other things to do in Halloween week, but right now those 2 are it. They're done. They're locked away. They're ready to be done.
They'll be coming out.
They are, and hopefully they're not too crazy to edit.
I don't think so. They were story-based games, so it was...
the next thing. Oh, the next thing. I have started Spyro 3.
Oh,
Still no sign of Spyro 4 yet, but I've started Spyro 3.
We are keeping our eye out for that one.
Yeah, we are.
Because we want. I do want.
I want that. But I've started. It is. I filmed the first episode. I only did an hour episode for some reason. I can't remember why. Actually, I do remember why. It was a day where I just filmed a bunch of stuff, solo stuff, and so I only was doing hour-long recordings for each of them, so that I would have stuff to edit into.
Oh, fair enough, yeah.
But it is just as annoying as I remembered. in terms of like playability, lovely game, but in terms of recordability, fuck, it's so much backwards and forwards.
Oh, that's right, it is too.
I did I think I did 2 worlds in this one. Now a lot of that had to do with probably because there was a lot of cutscenes. I think this game definitely has less cutscenes than the game before it.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, because the game before had cutscenes at the start and end of every world, whereas this one doesn't. It just has like random. It does have random cutscenes that activate at certain points in the game.
True, yeah.
But yeah, so that's I filmed the first part.
Mhm.
I went to a world. I was doing it. I got to a point and it's like, oh, you've got to unlock this character. And I went, Now, I'd already unlocked that character. I just hadn't done their mission that frees them up to go to every world. But yeah, so then I had to leave that world, go do their mission, then come back to that world to finish that. And so by the time all the backwards and forwards done, I think I'd done a bit over an hour of recording. So once I cut that down, hopefully it'll be in that like 40 to 50-minute mark.
Yeah, fair enough.
Maybe.
Not too bad.
40 to an hour is kind of what I'm aiming for with those.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's going to take a while to get through. Just because it is by far the most involved of all the games.
Speaking of back and forth.
Yes.
The Room 4.
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
Hey, you remembered it a few weeks ago.
Yeah, but then we didn't do it.
I know we didn't.
And I'm not drinking tonight. That was you.
I know it was.
I did mention that I did some recording that day. So other things I recorded were some Minecraft.
Yep.
I did some solo because I'm this close. What's a point where you're not close at all to something, but you're like this close to being at that point? I'm this close to like having the skeleton of my house put together.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Like most of it is all enclosed now, so we can start doing the other expansion parts. But like, well, the 3rd floor still technically doesn't have any walls, but you know, and most of the mountain's missing. But yeah,
I'm gonna have to wait till I get back in to see this.
So yeah, I filmed that. I've been doing some work on my house. The first part of that, there's technically 3 parts, but we'll see how that goes. But the first part will be coming out Friday.
Yeah.
Basically, as I've said in the past,
When's their exploration of the Haunted Mansion?
That should be coming out the week after. I
Okay.
do need a bit of time to get through all of that footage and figure out what I'm going to do with it.
It's gonna be a fun one.
Yes, and then so basically, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm very, very productive when I'm alone and just can focus on things.
Fair.
Not so much when Kris is around. And so, yeah, pretty much basically a whole lot of stuff. I need to be alone in the server to work on my house. Otherwise, my house will never be finished built.
True.
I'm also very easily distracted. And so basically, I'll be doing something, something else will catch my mind, and then I will be gone and not do that original thing. So it helps when I'm just alone to work on my house. And so, yes, as I said, hopefully I might get a little bit more done, but I'll have a couple of, what are they called? Supplementary videos of Minecraft that if I need to use, we can use, or if I want, I can chuck in on as an extra day sometimes if I feel like it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, basically that's kind of what's going on. They do involve quite a bit of editing because a lot of, at least for the last part, a lot of it was me just digging because I had to excavate a mountain. But, yeah, they're ready to go. As Kris mentioned, there's another Minecraft ready to go. There's another Satisfactory ready to go. I mentioned a little bit earlier. And I have started recording I say started. I have done the second episode of Hitman.
Oh, yeah.
That one's going to take a bit of editing because I changed my mind about 7 times on how I was going to approach it. But I did kind of come at it with... So, like, the thing with Hitman is if you've ever seen me and Kris play it, you know that there's about or if you've ever played it, you know there's about a million ways things can go. And because I've actually done it all, like I've played all the games, I know that a few tricks and techniques that can really snap things up. I could do them really quickly. But what I've decided is to try and do them to the highest degree possible. So score as much points as possible, which I have not achieved yet. Mainly, I think, because of the timing, because of the changing my mind constantly.
Yeah, that'll do it.
But anyway, so I filmed the Paris part. I was hoping to try and get 2 done in that hour, but something happened, and then something else happened, and then something else happened, and then I was at a point of the map where
I think the things that kept happening was just your indecisiveness.
Well, basically, there's a point, right? There is a point in that map which I've only ever been to once in my life because it's just a point where there's no point to go. I ended up in there with a wrench, knocking out a bunch of people, and then being like, "What do I do with their bodies?"
Fucking hell.
And then I was like, "Wait, no, hold up! I have a better plan." And then I went and enacted that better plan, and then pretty much a long story short, I kept changing my mind. I was like, "This is how I'm going to do this."
Jesus.
And then I was like, well, this isn't working. I'll go do this. So I'm going to have to cut out some of the points that were just dead ends, right? Or points where I'm like kind of walking around being like, how am I supposed to do this? And then that goes nowhere. Like at one point I'm standing outside shooting a bunch of cars to set off their alarms.
Okay.
For no reason other than I think I lost my mind for a moment.
Yeah, you didn't know what the fuck you were doing.
I was like, oh, maybe if I shoot all of these cars, something will happen.
Yeah, the alarms went off.
And there wasn't a plan there. There wasn't anything there. I was just kind of like standing there, bop, bop, and then throwing like lead pipes at other cars.
Honestly, it sounds like something I would do.
Yeah.
Because I would do it, and then all of a sudden people would be rushing to it and be like, oh, hang on, I need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, so some of it will be cut down. But yeah, I'm hoping that'll be about a half hour to 45 video. And then I'll keep filming the rest of it, and hopefully just be able to, knock them out as nice little whatchamajigs.
Sure.
Kind of episodes, the kind of videos that can come out, and they're not too big, they're not long, they don't kind of progress anything. They're just a nice little fun time to chill out and hopefully see some skilled assassination, even if it does take quite a while to do.
Won't be skilled.
I think I did a really good job.
We'll let them be the judge of that.
Even though
You watch that
Look,
video.
there's a little thing where I might poison like every drink I walk past.
Fucking hell.
But that probably cut out because that led to nothing. That was just me being like, what if they drink out of this cup? Okay, there's no one here. What if they drink that? I was honestly, and Paris is the one that me and you two have gone to the most, so I had the most available to me.
Yeah.
As we move forwards, as I go forwards, my mastery on each of the other ones is less and less and less, because we've only visited them once or twice, and I don't have any of the story stuff, so I will have to be doing... So they'll probably take even longer, because I don't have a good start.
Seems right.
And I can't just be like, I need to smuggle in this.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
But yeah, so that's been done. Shorts-wise, I am in the process of getting a bunch of shorts ready, so they'll probably restart on Friday. So today and tomorrow, or Wednesday and yesterday, if you're watching this, probably won't be any shorts. I have a few ready that I could do right now, but I'm hoping to do them on Friday because tomorrow's probably going to be a little bit busy.
And he's lazy.
There's that. But, I also feel like it'd take a little break. We've had approximately 31 days of non-stop shorts coming out.
It would, yeah.
So we'll take a little bit of a break. I don't have as many on the next couple of videos, so hopefully I'll have about 2 instead of 3 coming out a day. We'll see how long that stretches, and then I'll move on to the next lot of videos, because I think the current ones take me up to videos that came out about 3 weeks ago.
Years from now.
Years.
It's going to be one of the part of when we're in the mansion?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that,
I think that's pretty much all we've got.
I think it just about covers everything. Subscriber count is now up to 184.
185.
185.
Yeah.
So that's more than I remembered, and I was on there today doing stuff.
I was on there upstairs.
And comments. We're getting quite a few comments. Yeah.
One of them, you're a bit of a smartass to that one.
It's your favorite flavor.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm not sure how he liked that one.
Huh?
I'm not sure how he liked that one.
What do you do?
Yeah.
I shot back with just some kind of, not mean, just very...
A little bit of a smartass.
Very smart-ass kind of comment, because it was, after watching a 30-second short, he left, a 8-word response. It would have taken him about the same amount of time to write that as to watch the short.
Yeah, which is basically just wanted his 30 seconds back.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, too bad you can't have them because I've already traded them in for YouTube flavored kibble.
Yes.
Which, if you didn't know, is Chris's favorite flavor. It's
a
a little
great
bit corporate-y.
Just a tad. But it's just right.
It's just right. But yeah, no. Look, as you put some stuff out, we appreciate it,
I'm pretty sure that video also has a few likes on it as well. So
yeah,
some people have liked it.
Out of 400 watches, so that's actually pretty good for us.
Yeah.
But the thing is this: if you leave a message, right, we'll respond, or we'll like it, or we'll do something.
We'll do something.
But if you're gonna leave a message that's kind of a little bit sarcastic-y, I'm gonna be sarcastic back.
Yes.
If you're gonna leave, if you want. I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, sorry, you didn't like the video. If you didn't like the video, you didn't like it. Well, thanks for watching it. Really, thank you for watching it if you didn't like it.
Because 100%.
Why didn't you go?
That person 100% watched it all the way through.
Yeah.
They said they wanted their 30 seconds back.
And the other thing was, and this is kind of why I was just like, well, I'm going to respond to you sarcastically.
Yeah.
Is because it was like, oh, well, I didn't like it. Right, okay, it was a short. And it's like, what was the point? I'm like, so as I sat there, I went, I can be sarcastic or I can be theological.
True.
One of them is a 10-sentence thing where I talk about how there's no point to anything. And in the grand scheme of life, we are all just specks of dust in the wind. I'm like,
yeah.
But, as I said, I really do appreciate every comment, even if they aren't particularly nice, or if they are just kind of you being sarcastic. It's just, if you are sarcastic, I'll be sarcastic back. If you haven't kind of guessed it from the content, I'm not someone who's super shy about my stupidity. I'm happy to go out there and be the dumbest person in the room. Yeah. Because...
Don't worry, we still remember our first negative comment. Thanks, Nigel. Yeah.
But yeah, I read all the comments, and sometimes I'm like, okay, this if a comment's just great video, I'll give it a like, because I the one thing I don't like doing is responding. I'm not very good at responding to positive feedback.
Oh, neither am I.
It's
that's why it gets a thumbs up.
It gets a thumbs up. It's yeah, thanks so much. We're glad you liked the video. But I'm not going to come out there and be like, oh man, yeah, thank you for liking the video so much. Oh, that's so cool. I am great.
But you will say that though.
Yes.
Oh god.
But negative stuff, it's okay, well, I don't understand. If you want to be sarcastic, I'll be sarcastic back. If you want to just be purely negative, I'll just give you a fucking like, because
yeah, true.
The truth is this: I honestly don't have any real expectations of people liking everything I do. I don't think that's
It's fair.
necessary or wanted. And so if you don't like something, well, cool. And I'm a kind of crazy ass human being that's like, oh, I made you hate something so much you decide to waste even more of your time
Yeah.
dealing with it. Cool. Now I'm just gonna come back because he came back as well. He
Yeah,
came
I
back
did,
to
he
that
did.
comment. It was like, what the fuck? And I was like, I won this. I won this engagement.
I know you did. Because like that's when I was actually going through, I just saw the notification from, bro, what the fuck? I'm like, what is this? So I went into it and I'm like, oh, there was a
Like,
okay.
you know, like, but that's the thing. If you, you know, I'll respond to you if there's something I feel like I can respond to. Generally, it will be sarcastic because that's me in the teacup.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you know, I just give you a like. I like your comments. I like the fact that you like it. I read them. I'm like, oh, that's really nice. Like,
Yeah.
Or like, you know, other comments of people like, oh man, this game gives me nostalgia. Like, I don't really have anything to say to that. It's like, yeah, that's why we're playing it, because we like nostalgia. We like the old games too.
That's true. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I think that just about wraps up channel news. Anything to add to it?
No, I think that pretty much sums it up.
Did we hit everything? I think we did.
I think we did.
Excellent. Anyway,
Yeah.
Moving right along.
Yes.
Well, Kris, it's that time of the evening again. We descend into the darkness that is the media.
Okay.
So yeah, for those of you who do know or don't know or haven't been hearing up with the news, Assassin's Creed Shadows, everyone's
Yes.
favorite game to hate on right now,
Indeed, yes.
has been what's the term? When
Postponed.
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 Thank you, Kris. It's been proposed. It's been
Postponed.
it's been postponed until February next year. There's a torrent of hate for this game. Some of it deserved, some of it not so much deserved.
Yeah.
Some of it is just stupid. But I think I've been watching a few YouTubers talk about it, and they've been talking about the whole thing with Yusuke, the questionable samurai. That's just the truth. Because it's come out that like a lot of the information on Yusuke comes from one source. And that source changes a lot of the stuff they talk about, whether they're talking to Western media or Japanese media. So in Western media, he's a legendary samurai who everyone knows about, whereas in Japanese media, he's someone who was there at the time and may have been a samurai. And so basically, the whole Yusuke thing has blown up. But let's just put it like a lot of the information's coming from one source.
Yeah.
But someone was like, "That's not even going to be the top 10 problems with this game." Like that.
Of course it's not.
And it's not. It's not. It's neither here nor there. It's a fantasy game. Okay, it sucks that in a situation where you could have had a Japanese protagonist and it would have made so much sense.
The most sense.
They instead went African guy. Whatever. Yeah. That's neither here nor there. You know, suspend your reality and just play the game if it's good. I don't think anyone cares. Here's a fun fact. In Baldur's Gate 3, I played as an elf. Elves aren't real. But I can suspend my reality to play a Dungeons & Dragons game as an elf. In fact, most Dungeons & Dragons games I do play an elf, because they got better stats.
That's actually a fair point.
Yes.
I don't.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you know what I play as.
Goliath.
No, that was my last one. Generally a barbarian.
Yeah, but like human barbarian.
First one was human.
Yeah.
Second one was Goliath.
There you go. Anyway, point is, I've seen I believe that more than ever after seeing some stuff from the Ubisoft where it's like there's a lot bad. So I've seen videos where like their weapons are literally coming out of the sheaths through clipping, and it's like that's super bad.
Oh no!
I've seen ones where doors are floating about this far off the ground, like this. And it's like, yeah, because you wouldn't want those doors to touch the ground. That might keep things out.
Yeah, I know, right?
One of my favorites was a staircase that led to nothing. It just leads to the side of a wall.
Okay.
Another good one was a similar staircase that led to a door that was not in the middle of the staircase, but off to the side. And then once again, about yay high above the stairs.
No. Hear me out here. Hear me out. Do we expect any less from Ubisoft at this point?
No, the thing is, their games are like I think someone summed it up like perfectly about Bethesda games. Bethesda games are big and they're buggy.
Yes.
And like Ubisoft games are packed full of virtue signaling and shit quality assist assurance.
Yeah.
But like, you know, like it's this. It also comes back to a bunch of Ubisoft releases because basically, from a lot of what I've heard, Ubisoft are panicking at the moment because Star Wars Outlaws did not sell well, has not sold well, will not sell well.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
And a lot of that comes down to, and I was watching Asmongold, Asmongold, streamer.
Not by name. I've probably
Long
seen
hair,
it.
beard, kind of looks like Gollum.
Maybe?
Look him up at some point.
Yeah.
I was watching him and he was talking about Outlaws and he's like, I don't think it's bad on purpose. I think it's just bad because that's the best that the people working on it could do.
Okay, fair enough.
And I'm like, you know what? That's a good take. I like that take. That's a good take. Because I've been watching a bit of his stuff as he's like watching and other people's stuff on it, and it's like some of the stuff was like talking about how Star Wars Outlaws was supposed to be a stripped back kind of thing, like stripped back on all the Ubisoft stuff.
Yeah.
But it turns out that if you strip back all the Ubisoft stuff, you just have a really crappy game. And I kind of thought about that and went, yeah, that's actually true. Think about going back and playing Assassin's Creed 1. Yeah. Assassin's Creed 1 started the whole thing, but if you play it after playing Assassin's Creed 2...
Oh, it's bad.
It's bad. You're bad. Oh shit, why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? Why can't we do that? And
well, it's like what happened with me is like I had to restart something happened with my PlayStation and I had to restart it all.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to go play all the Assassin's Creeds again. Could not get 3 hours into the first game because of how it was. I still say that it's a good game, but I could never play it a second time.
Yeah, it's a hard playthrough because Ubisoft is bloat.
Yes.
But that bloat does add something to the game. And it's like, even going back, I don't know if you've done this recently, but going back and playing Assassin's Creed 2, which is my second favorite Assassin's Creed game, first favorite Assassin. Love Ezio. But my favorite Assassin's Creed game is still Black Flag.
Yeah.
But going back to it and you go, oh man, these mechanics are slow. And then like and that's like it's just a thing because the games were slow. Like they're not bad, it's just they were slow. But it turns out if you pull away all of the bloat that Ubisoft put into things, their games aren't great.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I will say this, speaking of Ubisoft, I intend to go back and play through all of the Splinter Cell games.
Okay, yeah.
Because I do love them, and so I'll be interested to see how they hold up. Because I have never actually played any of the early ones. I got on Splinter Cell quite late.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So I own them all now. I'll be going back and playing the early ones and seeing how that compares. But something tells me I'm going to feel the same way because I know how to play the late ones. I have their mechanics and everything. So going back to the earlier ones that were designed for the Xbox with a less powerful system that could do less with less ideas, I think it's going to hurt. But I'm interested to see how it goes. Probably record it for the channel.
That's fair enough.
But yeah, so that's what they kind of said about Star Wars Outlaws. Also, the fact that it was hamstrung by the fact that it wasn't really Outlaws. So
yeah, okay, fair enough.
For those of you who know this, because we talk about it often, me and Kris actually play a Star Wars RPG. We have a DM. He doesn't currently live here, so it's all on hold at the moment.
Until we go there.
But pretty much we play Age of the Empire, which is literally an outlaw RPG. And we get to be bad guys or good guys or
Whatever we want to do at the time.
Literally, whatever we want. Delivery drivers, whatever we want to do at the time.
We did that once.
Best delivery boys ever.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people were hoping for, like kind
Yeah.
of this RPG outlaw style thing, and that's what I was hoping for with Outlaws. I think I said that when we first saw the trailer years ago. I say years ago, year ago.
Was it a year ago?
Yeah, it was last year's Summer Game Fest, I believe.
I don't remember seeing it in that.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Oh, wow. Okay, fair enough.
I said it kind of looks like it's very outlaw, because there was a lot of stuff about like with the Imperials and kind of aligning yourself with the rebels, and I was kind of like, I hope they don't do that. I hope there's options to work with the Imperials, work with them, pretty much just be a self-serving jackass.
Which is what you play in the RPG.
Which is what you play in the RPG, and how all scoundrels and outlaws should really be.
Pretty
but it turns out that that's not at all what the game is. And a lot of people don't like that. I think that's one of the biggest complaints a lot of people have, is that the game is like... I think a few people summed it up by saying, like, you can't kill animals, but you can pet them. And it's like, cool. And it's like, you can't rob random people on the street. It's like, yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah.
So they kind of went like, you're going to be the dashing rogue-esque character who has a heart of gold. And it's like,
okay.
that's not what people were looking for from this game.
No.
We have those in the Star Wars universe.
Oh,
we have those in a lot of universes. You know, we've got the Uncharted series, which is pretty much that.
Yeah, true.
Cal Kestis is pretty much that in the Star Wars world. He's quite literally a good guy doing good things because he's a Jedi. Even though often it's like literally to his detriment.
Yeah.
Still
haven't played the second game.
I played the first part of it.
Okay.
That's how I know, because like the first part of it, you rock up on this place and you kind of just you can help people out. But you know, like it's like this thing of being like a heart of gold character, and it's like, I don't think that's what people wanted in a game titled Outlaw. I think people wanted the option. Like, if you want to be the outlaw with the heart of gold, do it. But I think most people were going into that game being like, what I want is a game that lets me take the wheel. And be good if I want to, be bad if I want to.
It's pretty
straightforward.
straightforward.
And what they got instead was a game that was very much do this. And then, basically the game mechanics didn't help either.
Probably not, yeah.
But, yeah, as I said, I guess it all comes down to the fact, but because it didn't sell well.
Yeah.
Now Ubisoft are panicking about Shadows.
Because they're already...
Shadows needs to sell well.
And it's already looking like it's not going to.
Well, it's already looking like it's not going to. It has all the controversies that, of course, going to come with it. It has all the reasoning.
Yeah.
But I think the most telling thing is the fact that just from what we've seen of gameplay and stuff, like, seriously, the modeling is bad. The clipping is bad. You know, there's a lot.
And this is one of the things
bad with it, and that's not even taking into account story, characters, any of that. It's just the fundamental of the game, the fundamentals, the thing that make it worth playing, aren't there.
Yeah, and let's face it, this only adds to what we said in many other podcasts. They need to take their time on games. Don't try to rush them, because the more you rush them, the worse it gets.
But
and the unfortunate thing is, now that they're going to be panicking, they're panicking about it. They're going to be putting more pressure on the developers.
Oh yeah.
And then it's going to make shit worse because they're putting too much pressure on them.
The other thing, I think, and I do want to take this time to say this about Star Wars Outlaws, is that it came day one with DLC locked content.
I fucking hate that.
Jabba the Hutt missions were locked behind a paywall. And the only reason that would have happened is because Jabba the Hutt is a known Star Wars character.
Yep.
So we can get people to pay extra for that.
Yeah.
So that's another one of the things that people really fucking hate about Ubisoft games.
Yeah, don't add immediate paywalls. Don't sell a game with, hey, do you want to buy the season pass? Fuck off.
As I said, I actually don't care too much about season passes, because I got to the point where I was buying a season pass with the game because it was cheaper.
Oh yeah, no, 100% is, yeah.
And, you know, normally it's like the content was decent. But
Yeah.
a season pass is fine as long as it's not like the season pass unlocks all of this stuff day one. Well, no, that's part of the game.
Yeah.
I don't mind buying a season pass when it's like, okay, so we're still working on these parts and these parts. The classic point, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah.
The season pass of that, I had no issue because as parts of it dropped, I was like, this is a really good part. I like this. Oh, this is good. I like this. Oh, this is very nice. I like it. Stuff where it's like season pass and it's like the season pass gets you nothing. It just unlocks a bunch of stuff that's already there and it's like, why isn't this just part of the game? But that brings me back to Shadows and about what you were saying about finishing games off and making them good. Yeah, do that. But also, you know, that shouldn't be a premium to the gamers to get a complete game. You know what I'm saying?
No, it shouldn't be.
The game should be sold as the game. We shouldn't be paying extra to pretty much unlock, you know, unlock parts of the game. A full video game should be the price. I should not be paying extra for parts of it. And if you're someone who goes like, oh yeah, but they've got to make their money back. Okay, well that's what the extra parts are for.
Yes.
You know, that's what season passes and extra content is for later down the road. Because that's extra work. The video game itself should just be the video game. Yeah. Other things with Assassin's Creed Shadows is that, yeah, as you said, because they're panicking that these things aren't going to get fixed. Some of them might get fixed, but I think it's just an overall lack of care.
Yeah.
Really, and I think that's kind of something that I'm noticing more and more, especially with Ubisoft, is just a general lack of care.
Yeah.
You could have the world's greatest story, but if it's backed up with bad textures, bad clipping, you know, not even ugly looking games, because beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but just games that are full of the little things that pull the gamers out. Doesn't matter how good your story is, because no one's going to get to it. And I think that's what's happened with Assassin's Creed Shadows. I think they spent too much time focusing on all of the Yusuke drama and, you know, fighting back, biting back and saying he should be there, he's okay to be there, whatever. And not enough time actually making sure the game's worth playing.
Yeah.
And, you know, we can forgive that narrative choices and things that don't make sense narratively if the game is good. You can say, okay, well, you know, whatever, the game is good.
Yeah.
What we can't forgive is a game that sacrifices being good for a narrative or for, you know, whatever they hope to achieve by this with their actions. It's like, you can market a video game as much as you like. If the video game isn't good, then you've wasted all your marketing money. Because people will not play it. So stop wasting time and effort marketing a game and saying, no, this is why the game is good, and just make the game good. Because if the game is good, people will play it. I think there's some really good, really good examples of that out there. You've got Space Marine 2, which people are raving about. You've got pretty much all of the Souls games, and what's the game called?
Which one?
Elden Ring. Elden Ring. And I bring Elden Ring up because I don't think it's a particularly beautiful game. I honestly don't. The graphics are okay. The colors are all washed out.
It's pretty standard for a Souls game, though.
It's a very standard Souls game look, but no one would put that up next to like a game with massive graphic fidelity and be like, "Whoa, which one do you think is better visually?" Well, I don't think Elden Ring gets it, but Elden Ring is one of the most popular games of the era because it's just fucking good.
Yeah,
may not look the best all the time, but its mechanics are solid. It's a good game. People want to play it. Baldur's Gate's another example.
True. Yeah.
You want to talk about things being woke. Baldur's Gate is super woke. It's super duper woke. in terms of what people call woke.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Like, everything is fluid, man.
Okay, fair enough.
But at the end of the day, no one gives a fuck because it's just a fucking fun game.
True.
And I think that's where a lot of the current games are falling down. They're just not fun. No one wants to play them. And you know, like, whether or not you agree or disagree with political messages and stuff being put in video games, I think that's kind of something that's always been in video games. And, you know, as long as it doesn't affect how fun the game is, it's still a fun game.
Yeah,
but
pretty straightforward.
If the game's not fun, then we're not going to play it. We're not going to buy it. We're not going to give you our money. Especially considering video games are getting so damn expensive now.
Yeah, we have to actually be picky about what we're buying.
And we are being picky.
Yes, whereas a few years back, it was, well, these look like they could be good. Buy them all.
Yeah, you know, a few years back, I was buying COD every couple of years. I was buying every Assassin's Creed that came out because they weren't that expensive. And, okay, if I only got a couple of hours fun out of it, that's fine.
Yeah.
Now the game's more expensive, I have less time, and I'm kind of sick and tired of having buyer's regret. I do not want to buy another game which I just kind of sit there and go, well, that was dull.
Yeah, pretty much.
And so I'm spending my time more wisely.
I think sometimes that's why I have trouble even turning some games on, because I like the concept. I don't want it to be shit.
Yeah.
And if it's shit, as you said, you're going to regret it. So I'm just like, some games are just there, and it's like, yep, it's there.
Yep.
I hear it's a good game, but I don't want to judge it.
Yeah. Like, and, you know, that's the video game industry we live in. Yep. But, you know, let's before we wrap up, let's bring things to a higher note.
Okay.
A scientific note.
Ooh, okay.
A happier note.
Yes.
What, Kris?
Darcy.
Everyone wants to leave a legacy, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So, here's my thought process.
Okay.
I've done a little bit of research onto this, but more scientific research is needed.
But okay.
What's something that lives for a really, really long amount of time?
Lives for a really long amount of time, or actually just lasts?
Lives. A living organism.
Oh, a cockroach?
Okay, so Kris is an idiot.
No, I'm joking. I hate those bastards.
It's obviously a tree.
Well, yes.
On average, I did some research into how long on average trees live. Between 30 to 2,000 years.
Depending on the type of tree, yeah.
For an average tree.
Well, yes.
Oh no, if we get into specific long-lived trees, they can live for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Many thousands. But like, you know, the average tree lifespan could be up to 2,000 years. Yeah. Which is a pretty big legacy, considering that takes us back to Jesus.
Well, yes.
So, right. Other studies have also shown that plants can have a sort of memory.
Yeah.
Not so much a memory like you or me have a memory, but a memory of things that have happened to it.
Yeah.
Right? A cellular memory, if you will. Right?
Yes.
A tree can also tell when it's being touched and when that touching has stopped.
Yes.
So, and as I said, I preface this by saying more research is needed. But if you get a tree, a little baby tree, and you plant it in your yard, and every day you hug it and hug it, then hundreds of years after you're dead, that tree will remember that you hugged it every day while it was growing.
Fuck.
And I think that's a legacy that you could happily leave behind. And every single person can do it. Every single person can do it.
We'd all become tree huggers.
Yes, but in the best and most literal sense.
Yes.
And that is it's a happy legacy. It's a legacy of love, not one of death and destruction, like normal people have to do to be remembered for thousands of years. As I said, more research is needed, but those 3 points do make it seem pretty compelling that
I think so.
You should plant a tree in your backyard and just hug it every day. Hug it every day, and then, you know, once you leave that house for, if you never leave that house and you die, that tree will always remember the person who hugged it every day. Though not quite like that. It'll just remember being touched every day on a cellular level.
But if you also die at the base of the tree and nobody finds out, you also feed the tree.
Well, I think you can just do that if you want to, because that's the whole thing about, people choosing not to be buried in boxes anymore. They'd just rather be buried under a tree or something.
True, yes.
Feed the trees.
Yeah.
Or, be incinerated and turned to ash and put in a wall somewhere. I think that's what people do.
Yeah.
Or put on a mantelpiece. I don't like the idea of cremation, if I'm being honest.
Well, there's the whole
it has
turning them into a diamond thing.
I don't like that even more.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't want to be worn by anyone. Second of all, I don't want to be stolen by anyone.
Fair.
Now, back to my point about being cremated, though, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're cremated, you get put in a wall. That's kind of the same as being buried.
Yeah.
You're put somewhere and just left. Being put on someone's mantelpiece kind of sounds like the worst thing to me.
Okay.
Like, honestly, becoming part of the decor is not really my thing.
Okay, fair enough.
And also being sat upon someone's mantelpiece or shelf just seems so indignified.
And then to one day be knocked down by a small child to have to be vacuumed up.
And then eaten by a Roomba. Now, the third one that people do with ashes, which everyone's like, oh, it's such a nice thing to do, which is where they take it and scatter your ashes somewhere that you loved.
Yeah.
All I can think about is getting blown into other people's faces. Now, as an absolute animal, I love that.
Yes.
Ruining people's day even after I'm well and good.
I know, right?
But, again, it's a little bit undignified.
No, yes.
Like, you get spread out and you end up in someone's sandwich. And then the two of you have accidentally become cannibals. And
yeah.
So I don't like the whole ashes thing either.
Okay, fair.
But yes. There's no point to that. I just was saying how a lot of people are going like, oh, cremation sounds good, but it doesn't to me. I think what we should do is start launching our dead into space.
Fair enough.
It does two things. One, it encourages us to get better at launching things into space.
Oh yeah, good point.
Possibly even making a space elevator that we can just throw all the dead people in and then just push them out the window.
That would work.
And that would be good for space exploration. And secondly, the Earth is finite. It has an amount of space.
It's true.
We can't keep burying people. They just keep taking up all the space. Even if we turn everyone into dust, eventually we're going to use up all this space. Or everyone's going to just be walking around wearing masks because they're afraid of breathing in someone's relatives. But space. It's got space.
It does.
It's fucking in the
So
name.
much space.
we could stack bodies out there for years.
You could.
And
They wouldn't decay as fast.
Well, in the vacuum.
Yeah.
Absolute zero.
Yeah.
No decay at all.
That's it.
They're dead, but they're perfectly preserved.
Eventually, we might get those aliens coming because we've been bombing their planets with our dead.
Well, what a hell of a story.
I know,
Wait.
right?
Please stop throwing your dead bodies at us. Wait, what?
We've been doing that?
Honestly, we just push them out the window. Oh.
Yeah, that's the direction of our planet.
Well,
Oh.
What about the other side effect where it's like you could go up in like, if we do this right, you go up in like 200 years, get up on the space elevator, go out in a little thing and be like, oh look, there's great-great-granddad. Yep, just exactly where he orbiting the Earth. Excellent. Okay, kids, let's go home. Just like the day we pushed him out the window. Perfectly preserved. No, I think that's...
Just imagine.
I think that's pretty special.
I think at a certain point, it's like... You think of Saturn with the rings.
The ring of human.
It'd just be a ring of dead.
Yep.
Oh, man. Should do that.
I'm just saying, man.
It's a great idea.
We got to explore space for our dead.
Because it might even be something to ward off those aliens coming, just to be like, hey, look at that! Oh my god!
Whoever controls this planet has killed an entire population and left them out to show us.
Oh no!
We don't want to be these people. Meanwhile, it's like, we got another one.
Yep. Holy shit!
Also, for those of you wondering, as I imagine pushing dead people out the space window, it's just some janitor with a broom. It's not dignified at all.
No. Oh, that's great.
Or, we do like they do in like most space fantasy, where you put them in a casket, you aim at the closest star, and you
That'd do it.
go back and become a star child.
You just past the planets this time.
It's sort of like
We've left a few craters.
It's sort of like cremation, except way better, because instead of being turned into ashes, you're turned into like pure atomic goop.
True, yeah.
And then that atomic goop is in an atomic goop making factory, and you'll be shot out. Maybe a planet. Not like just you, like you and a lot of other atoms.
Well, yes.
Just you sized planet would suck.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh.
No, that's gonna give me nightmares now. The human planet. It's like a normal planet, except instead of iron, it just has bones and cartilage.
Oh no.
Actually, though, next time you stab someone, they're like, they'll stab people, be like, I was just mining for cartilage. Oh, what? We're allowed to strip mine the earth, but I can't strip mine this bastard.
I thought you said we were ending this on a high note.
Hug a tree.
Hug a tree.
Get shot into space.
Yes.
Oh, well, guys, I think that just about wraps us up. I don't think Kris can take much more of this.
It's pretty funny.
It's a hellscape. But, guys, if you have enjoyed this video, consider liking, sharing, commenting, or subscribing if you haven't already. It does mean a lot to us here. If you have anything you want to say about Assassin's Creed Shadows to me and Kris, if you're excited for it or not, if you thought Outlaws was a good game and you want to share that deficiency with us, put it in the comments. Kris or I will read it, and we might comment or we might just like it.
Yeah.
But if you say that you liked Outlaws, I'm going to make fun of you.
Yes.
And guys, until next time, I've been Darcy. He has been Kris.
Yeah.
And we will catch you right here on the channel.
Indeed.
Bye.
So.
Show my age. I'm one of those 2010 party dudes.
Oh shit, he is too. The one that was on the news.
Hey guys, I've just put my hair down in front of my face so I can't see. It tickles my nose. It's fucking crazy.
Oh no.
Yeah!
Yeah, sick dude.
Let's go get a bunch of beers and crash into people's cars in shopping trolleys.
Fuck yeah.
Because this was back when crime was not stealing people's cars, it was just doing
Damage to him.
and vandalism.
Yeah.
God, I miss the things are gonna be pretty bad for you to miss random vandalization.
Oh shit, no, that's a fair point. Oh, it is.
Let's get started.
Yeah.